on whether or not to authorize a strike. Catastrophic flooding in central Texas has claimed more than 100 lives, and that number is expected to rise. More than 170 people are still missing. Governor Greg Abbott says crews won't rest until every missing person is found. More from ABC's Matt Gutman.
I've been speaking with EMS officials who are telling me that they are going to scour every single inch of the Guadalupe River all the way down to its terminus at Canyon Lake. That's 125 river miles away. It's a process that could take months.
Today, forecasters say scattered showers and storms may affect the region. Flash flooding in New Mexico has left 3 dead. The historic floods hit the small mountain community of Ruidoso, 180 miles south of Albuquerque. A 4-year-old girl, 7-year-old boy, and a man in his 40s were swept away by floodwaters. As Russia intensifies its aerial attacks against Ukraine, President Trump now expressing his growing frustrations with President Putin. Here's ABC's Rachel Scott.
Trump, who has long praised the Russian leader, now suggesting he's standing in the way of a peace deal. But as Russia was escalating its attacks, the Pentagon suddenly paused some weapons shipments, raising questions about where America stands. The president, seated next to his own defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, saying he's not sure who ordered that weapons pause.
Ukrainian officials say Russia fired more than 700 attack and decoy drones at Ukraine overnight. That tops previous nightly barrages for the 3rd time in 2 weeks. Spending cuts by DOJ face uncertainty in the Senate as the Trump administration looks to have them formalized. Yesterday, Senate Appropriations Chair Susan Collins says she doesn't know if the package that passed the House can also clear the Senate. The package would codify $9.4 billion in spending cuts. Public libraries across Wisconsin could lose federal funding.
The Bridges Library System in Waukesha says that's due to the planned elimination of the Institute of Museum and Library Services. The agency is the main source of federal funding for libraries and museums nationwide. Public libraries across the state are asking the public to write a postcard to their congressional leaders, sharing why libraries are important to them and their communities. Free postcards will be available at most public libraries. They'll then be mailed to Washington, D.C. later this month. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Decision, Wisconsin. A Republican businessman announced his candidacy for Wisconsin governor. Bill Berrien is CEO of Pendle Global Precision and Liberty Precision in New Berlin. Berrien joins Washington County Executive Josh Schoenman on the GOP shortlist. Governor Tony Evers has promised an announcement on whether he will seek a 3rd term in the coming weeks. Cases of Lyme disease continue to rise in Wisconsin. Number of reported cases has tripled over the past 15 years. The tick species that carries the disease have spread to all areas of the state. Medical College of Wisconsin Associate Professor Robert Lockhead tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
If you're not up north, you're not out of the woods, so to speak. You can get Lyme disease gardening. You can get Lyme disease walking your dog out in the park. So it's something to be aware of.
Lockhead says not all tick bites will make you sick, but it's important to protect yourself while enjoying time outdoors. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow is up 85 points, NASDAQ up 98, S&P 500 is up 16. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:04.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Shopco Optical. Get eyewear for everything you do at Shopco Optical. Schedule your annual comprehensive eye exam, check out new frame styles, and order your annual supply of contact lenses all in one place. Enjoy the time and attention your eyes deserve at Shopco Optical. Receive quality eye care and a personalized vision solution tailored to your specific vision and lifestyle needs. Call Shopco Optical or visit shopco.com to schedule an appointment at a location nearest you.
Dan, what are you doing?
Taking a closet for a test drive.
A test drive?
Here at Inspired Closets, we have our own cutting-edge immersive design experience.
That's right. Envision by Inspired Closets uses AR technology that's sort of like test driving a car.
Virtually walk into your custom closet at scale before anything is even built.
You can even make changes in real time, so your environment will adapt to any design revisions you make in that moment.
Get started today at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets, a wife and husband team.
Hey, Milwaukee, if you missed out on the best summer savings for furniture, appliances, and mattresses, don't worry. Kohlder's is extending their 4th of July weekend sale through this Sunday. For one more week, shop Kohlder's unbeatable store-wide discounts on top of their sale and clearance prices. John Mercure here. I just shopped at Kohlder's. It's the best quality. It's the best sales team. It's the most beautiful showrooms. And now, save 60% on furniture and mattresses. Take an additional 10% off. Stack your discounts only during Kohlder's extended 4th of July weekend sale. Same thing on sofas, sectionals, dining tables, bedroom sets, and more. Use the code WEEKEND10 at checkout, in-store, or online. And the savings don't stop there. Take an additional 5% off appliances at Kohl's with the code WEEKEND5. That's on top of prices you won't find anywhere else. Now's the time to upgrade your kitchen or laundry appliances at Kohl's. Don't miss out on Kohl's 4th of July weekend sale, now extended through Sunday, July 13th. Shop in-store or online at Kohl's.com.
Get more for your money, Kohl's.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Brewers won their third game in a row. Milwaukee beat the Dodgers 3-1 to claim a series victory. Milwaukee and LA conclude their series today. First baseman Rhys Hoskins says he expects to miss 6 weeks with a thumb injury. Hoskins placed on the injured list Sunday after injuring it while fielding a throw in Saturday's loss to the Marlins. Take a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We had a crash. It was off left, I-41 south at the ramp from Good Hope Road. It looks like that has been cleared off. A fire, quite a bit earlier, closed the right lane, I-43 north at Hampton Avenue West. It looks like that is still in the clearing stages. Traffic a little bit backed up there, I-43 north at Hampton Avenue. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy today with highs 76 lakeside, 81 inland. Clear, cool overnight, low 61. Sunny tomorrow, high 77 to 82. Then Friday, partly cloudy, humid. A chance of afternoon and evening storms, a high of 83. Humid and with storms likely again on Saturday, mostly in the morning. High Saturday, 82. Then sunshine on Sunday with a high of 85. 75 in Madison, 67 in Green Bay and Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scaffidi and Kristin Brey.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday edition. Kristin Brey alongside. And let's get right to the hotline because we have the governor of the great state of Wisconsin, Governor Tony Evers, joining us on the hotline. Good morning, Governor.
Hey, Steve, how's it going today?
I'm good. Kristin here as well. Let's let Kristin start the questioning of the governor.
So how are you feeling, Governor, about less than a week from the big bipartisan biennial budget, our own version of the BBB, I guess you could say. How would you classify or how would you summarize how this time around went for you? What was dissimilar? What was different?
Well, what was different in that we spent a lot of time making sure that we're engaging in a compromised way, and that worked out. I mean, we accomplished some things that, frankly, we've never accomplished before, and childcare is one of the major ones. So I felt good about that. Obviously, it's a starting point for some things, but overall, it was a good budget. It wasn't a great budget. We didn't get everything we wanted. Of course, we asked for $800 million for the UW system, and we ended up with, I think, a little over $300 million. That said, I think as a state, what we put together with programs and tax cuts, I think we hit the right spot. But of course, from my vantage point, we need to do more for our public schools. We need to make sure that our university system was working well. But overall, I was pleased with it.
We've talked about bipartisanship and compromise before in our many conversations on this program. What was different this time? Did it feel different, the conversations, negotiations that were going back and forth between the two sides?
Oh, it was much different. I mean, it was significantly different from the other budgets we've worked on. So yes, it was hard bargaining, and everybody took one on the chin on something, I'm sure. And so that is, we're a purple state, and from my vantage point, I'm a moderate for the most part, and I believe that compromise is important, and also, frankly, it is something that's important should be important to Republicans, and I think they played out that way this time around too.
Have you had a chance to talk to any of the Democrats on I would say the left wing of the Democratic caucus who were not very happy with this bill? And Even if you haven't gotten to talk to them, what would you say to them as far as them feeling like this didn't go far enough?
Yeah, well, first of all, yes, I have, and I also read the newspaper. So,
social media.
I see it. I avoid that. That can go in a weird place. We accomplished a lot. Did we accomplish everything? No. We are still, the Republicans still are in charge of the legislatures, and I'm in charge of the executive branch. And so the idea that somehow we were going to that we failed because we didn't get everything we had in our original budget, that's just not accurate. We accomplished a lot, and so yes, I did. I hear it, and there's reasons why the Republicans didn't want to go as far as I had put in our budget. But that's if you want to work with people, that's the way we have to do it. And I think it was a good win. But yes, of course, if I was on the far left, I would say that this didn't work out too well. But at the end of the day, we have $1.4 billion in spendable money for K through 12, and child care has $361 million that they've received, from the state, zero in the past. UW system, we went from being stuck in the red to $250 million. Healthcare, where we worked hard on both sides to get a situation where our hospitals aren't going to be going belly up. And we actually reduced taxes. And so all those things together, I think it's a good budget. Is it perfect? No.
So this is sort of a rather transparent way to ask the obvious question. The ease of this process, and I'm air quoting ease because you said it was a little bit easier.
I was going to say.
Does that make it easier for Governor Tony Evers to say, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll stick around for a few more years?
No, it has nothing to do with it.
You said after the budget process, you start making those calls.
Yeah, right, and I will. It'll happen in the near future. But the budget wasn't a defining moment. Believe me, there's all sorts of other defining moments that I can talk about when I make that decision.
Well, that was going to be my next question, because I know that you are still deciding. But as any good husband knows, happy wife, happy life. Happy wife, happy life. So, what does Kathy want you to do?
She's a ace. Always has been. She does her thing, I do my thing, and she is supportive of me, and vice versa. So she's good with whatever decision I make, and it's not because I run the household. Let me tell you that it's a 50-50 proposition.
I think you and I have talked about this question before, but age is certainly a focus at the federal level, especially at the age of the president's, the past one and the current one. Does age factor into this decision for you?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I'm 73 years old. Of course, you have to think about that. But it's interesting. We had with Biden, it was a problem, and now we have this elderly president who apparently has all sorts of power, frankly, but also some good representation for the Republican side. So I don't know how big of a deal it is. I think it's a personal thing for all the folks. I feel good. I feel my work is really rewarding to me, but I'm not sure. If someone would say, well, let's get a law that says that people have to get out of the business when they hit 75 or something like that. That'd be ridiculous. Everybody comes from a different place, and everything's around personal health and things like that.
So, Governor, since you did mention President Trump, there's a lot of people out there, I would say a lot of people in your base, who are worried right now, to put it one way, about a lot of different things. And so with the uncertainty and the unknowns, what would be your pep talk to people in Wisconsin right now?
Yeah, it's hard. I have to tell you, Kristin, it's hard. You never know what's going to happen in Washington, D.C. Now, if that's something that we should all say, well, that's great. Let's have chaos for 4 years. I'm not sure that's necessarily a good thing. we're involved with numerous lawsuits, and some of them will be successful. In fact, I think most of them will be. But the idea that somehow we jump from one place to another at the federal level just doesn't work. I mean, and I'm not a foreign policy expert, but I can tell you that suddenly Putin's a bad guy and Zelensky's a good guy. And two weeks ago, it was just the opposite. Now, this is the president of the United States. That's a worrisome thing. So the good news is that we try to deal with what's going on in Washington, D.C. I'll have to tell you also that it is really important for the state of Wisconsin to be concerned about what happens to the workers that we have in our farms and other places in our manufacturing parts of our state. You know, a lot of people that are concerned about being sent back someplace, and even though it hasn't happened to our knowledge in any large way, in fact, I'm not even sure even in a small way, but that can happen overnight. Somebody makes a decision in Washington, D.C. that anybody that's undocumented has to go home. That would be bullshit for Wisconsin. That would kill our economy. And so that type of what I'm describing happening in Washington, D.C. could hit home here big time. And I am concerned about that could happen.
Governor Tony Evers joining us on 620 WTMJ. I know you've sent out a message from the state of Wisconsin to Texas. They're dealing with catastrophic flooding. Compare and contrast how Wisconsin's emergency preparedness is, I think, one of the best responders to these situations in the country.
Yeah, absolutely. We always get. I mean, the good news, we don't have those situations often, and when they do happen, emergency management people are just extraordinary. At the state level, at the local level, at the regional level, they work hard. They prepare. They're there. We always get asked for help, and happen now again in Texas. They actually want 3 of our animals dogs to go with get folks, and hopefully that will help the healing that's going on there. But yes, no matter where it happens, our folks are always asked to be helpful, and we're glad that that's the case, because it puts us in a good place here at home.
All right, Governor, one more question for you, as you know, you're a busy man. So Wisconsin State Fair is less than a month away. Can we get you to commit to coming on our show in person at WTMJ studio at State Fair?
Of course.
All
Why
right.
not? I've been doing that ever since.
Maybe you'll make your big announcement with us on air at State Fair with a cream puff.
Maybe. You never know, and that might be worth 2 cream puffs.
There you go. Governor, always appreciate you taking the time to speak to us and our audience.
Okay, thanks to both of you.
Thanks so much, Governor.
We'll take a quick break here. Listen to Point Taken, Kristin and Steve on 620 WTMJ.
While last year you were king of the league.
King in the castle, king in the castle.
When you come to Milwaukee,
Have a chair, I have a chair.
we wear the crown.
Oh, well.
The Brewers host the Dodgers at AmFam Field.
Yelich to left. This is well struck. Back at the track, and it's gone!
Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts today at 12:35. We are the home of the Brewers, WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for Milwaukee Weight Loss, and I cannot believe it myself, but I started this journey in January. I'm down 40 pounds in the maintenance phase, have been for a couple months now, feeling better, stronger, more confidence than I have in years. If you're frustrated like I was with all that trendy stuff, the shots, weight loss shots, maybe you hit a plateau, maybe you're dealing with some side effects from some of that stuff, or maybe you watch the weight creep back on your body, there's a better way, trust me. Milwaukee Weight Loss helped me lose the weight without the workouts. I always advocate for walking, though. Prepackaged meals, shakes, drugs, don't have to do that. Injections, none of that. Just real results that last. They reset your metabolism. That's what's working for me as I stay on this program for a year. The weight comes off and stays off. It's doctor-developed, natural, and helps thousands of people lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks. Whether you have a reunion or a wedding or a trip you're looking forward to, you want to lose some weight, look your best on those pictures. Stop the yo-yo dieting. Take control. There's a smarter, faster, and safer way to reach your goals, and that's with Milwaukee Weight Loss and their incredible team. Schedule your free consultation today at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com or call 262-393-2334. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
WTMJ's John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. If you have big questions about inflation, money, and your retirement goals, join me Tuesday, July 15th with your questions as I co-host an Instant Insight webinar with Annex Wealth Management's Chief Economist, Brian Jacobson. It's July 15th at 9 a.m. It's free, but you must register. Go to WTMJ.com, click the Instant Insight Register Now button, or check out events at AnnexWealth.com. Tuesday, July 15th, 9 a.m. It's free, but you need to register.
Listen, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Oh, I love that. It is hump day. Over the hump, sort of. Well, we'll be really over the hump at 12 today as we move through this week. Our first full week after all the holiday hijinks of the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I was at Ishnala yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Our great partners. Always fantastic. People were so nice. I was just chatting with people and waiting in line.
Man of people.
Yeah, man.
Anyone recognize you?
No.
Hmm.
Well, one lady looked at me very closely, but she didn't say anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought she was just checking you out.
Well, maybe.
Your 40-pound weight loss?
Yeah, maybe she was just checking me out. Sure, that's what was happening. But as always, Ishnala, unbelievable service. The setting is amazing, and the food is amazing. And I got the smaller ribeye, and I still took half of it home. I'll be having that for dinner tonight with a nice salad. So thanks to the folks at Ishnala, always a great partner of ours at WTMJ, and they do such a great job. And it was a gorgeous night last night. Celebrating Wisconsin in summer is just a great thing to do.
I agree.
I know you're big on that. You guys go to way more events than I do. I used to do a lot of it.
We're very active.
Yeah. Like, what's your next thing?
This weekend we're going to Rapids for my cousin's birthday/graduation.
That's
our
cool.
18th birthday/graduation.
Nice.
And my mom turned 70 on Tuesday.
Are you serious?
So we're celebrating early with her.
She looks good for 7. She looks like a
does look good.
youngster.
Yeah. And so
Brey.
less events this week, but still seeing the central part of the state.
Let's do this. Take a quick break. Come back with a different story, different segment. She's Kristin. I'm Stevens Point Taken on 620 WTMJ.
The historic Fox and Hound Supper Club is the most beautiful, unique, and affordable summer dining destination. WTMJ's John Mercure. I love the Fox and Hounds. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free, including prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday, desserts and ice cream drinks, buy one, get one free. Order a hand-cut choice ribeye steak, pan-seared scallops, the roasted duck, pan-fried walleye, pasta, the ribs, any entree, your second dinner is free. 7 nights a week. Wow, what a value. Relax with a cold beverage on that patio in the woods, then dinner in one of the 8 unique dining rooms. Your second dinner is free. It is a dining experience at the historic Fox and Hounds. The award-winning Fox and Hounds Supper Club off Highway 167 near Holy Hill. The drive through the Kettle Moraine is stunning. A Wisconsin summer must-see. Wherever you live, it's worth the beautiful drive and free dinner at the Fox and Hounds. So step away from your kitchen, call and reserve your free dinner today. It's the famous Fox and Hounds.
Don't miss the largest vacation sale in the nation coming this July. It's Fox World Travel's exclusive July sale with Apple Vacations and Celebrity Cruises. July is the best time of the year for unbeatable deals you won't get anywhere else. Get the hottest cruise deals or plan ahead for 2026 all-inclusive resorts paired with nonstop flights. Let Fox World Travel book your vacation and secure your reservation with just a deposit. Visit foxworldtravel.com/July and get on the exclusive list. Sales start soon.
Looking for new floors but tired of the pushy sales pitch? Vince Vitrano here recommending Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield. Local family-run business where the team treats you like a neighbor, not a number. It was actually one of my neighbors who recommended Hunt's to me. No pressure, no gimmicks, just honest advice, beautiful flooring, and help every step of the way. From hardwood to pet-friendly carpet, find the perfect fit for your home and budget. Visit the showroom or start your project now at huntsflooring.com. Hunts Flooring. Flooring you'll feel good about.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Accurate Basement Repair and Capital Heating and Cooling. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Hi, Sandy Max here to tell you about an incredible event at a new community at Three Pillars in Lake Country. It's the grand opening of their active adult community, The Fields at Three Pillars, and I'll be there live Friday, July 11th to help celebrate. Nestled along the Bark River, The Fields is a neighborhood-style community unlike anything in Wisconsin, with 110 residences and amenities like a spa, supper club, art studio, pub, dog park, pickleball, and more. It's already one of the most sought-after senior communities in the state. Learn more about The Fields at threepillars.org.
Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day, everybody. All right, so we know that Washington County Executive Josh Schoeman, Kristin, is in the race, has been for a while. He's
For governor,
yes, for the state of Wisconsin. Now we have a new entry into the race. Local guy, business owner, CEO. He was a Nikki Haley supporter, but now he's featured.
another former Navy SEAL.
Yeah. A lot of Navy SEALs in the politics game now.
Well, at least there's Derek Van Orden. Who else?
A couple. I don't know. There's some national ones,
Who's
too.
the Texas Crenshaw? Was he a Navy SEAL?
Dan Crenshaw. I don't think so, but I could be correct. I could be incorrect on that. But there's been a few across the country, which, again, it's not a bad resume item. Those dudes are committed, you know. Now, whether that translates to being an effective political leader, I don't know. We'll find out. As we know, there's really no rules for politics. Anyone can be president now, basically, right? That's if you have money.
Well,
because that's the qualifier.
Men. We still haven't had a woman president.
True.
Crenshaw was on SEAL Team 3.
There you go. Thank you, producer Jazz. She's on it. She's on it.
Fact checker Jazz.
Yeah, so you had that one. You nailed the Dan Crenshaw.
All right. Well, what's your, as the Republican, what is your immediate reaction to Bill Berrien and his announcement and what you know about him and his chances?
Well, chances is a different question, but I like the resume. Obviously, that's going to play well with the Republican base. I believe Josh Schoeman was in the military as well, so there's not a huge contrast there. Being a business leader and being a governmental leader, I think, is a big difference. And I've seen what Josh Schoeman has done. Now, let's be completely transparent. I'm a Josh Schoeman supporter.
You are, yeah.
Yeah, I had him on the show for years.
Do you think there's anyone who could get in the race that would change your mind about voting for him?
No, only if Josh drops out.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm telling people that because I want to be honest about it.
Yeah.
But I want to see a big field of candidates because I think that gives voters a choice in the state of Wisconsin. Now, does his business leadership parlay him to a successful run for the nomination? I don't know, because I'm not one of those people, and I've had this argument over and over again for the last couple of years. I don't necessarily think being a business leader makes you a good political leader. I know a lot of people do think that. I
think
don't.
a lot of people think that, but the truth is, and we just saw it, right, as far as just having the governor on earlier, when you're a CEO or an executive, like the buck kind of stops with you. Like you can kind of say, like, this is what we're doing. You can have collaboration. You can have other executives feed you like suggestions and advice on what you should do. But ultimately, it is a top-down organization as opposed to government, which is very much shared power, right? There is power struggles all the time, but the ability to govern and compromise and negotiate and build coalitions is very different than just being the guy in charge, I think. But I've never done either. So I guess this is all just conjecture from the outside, but I do feel like they're fairly different skill sets.
So I've been a local leader, and I've worked for, in the private sector, people who were CEOs and leading large organizations. I worked for a very big company for many, many years, retired from them after 28 years. I can see where some people would make the connection that that's the magic in running government. It's a completely different mindset. I think a good leader, whether public or private, utilizes the strength of their employees. Because everyone, you know this, everyone around you has different skill sets. A good leader takes the best of each and makes the end product, whatever that is, whether that's public or private, better at the end for the consumers of that product. So
I would say both government leaders and business leaders should lead from the front, not yelling from the back.
Yes.
How's that?
Love that. It's a good quote. All right. She's Kristin. I'm Steve. Got a lot more to get to on the program. We're talking nuclear energy.
I know. I'm excited about this. We're having an expert on to talk about the future of nuclear energy in Wisconsin.
So we've got local news coming up with Connie Weber. Before we get to any of that, here's none of the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Former President Joe Biden's White House doctor, Kevin O'Connor, was questioned by the White House or the House Oversight Committee behind closed doors this morning. He asserted physician-patient privilege in declining to answer any questions regarding Biden's health when Biden occupied the Oval Office. The death toll in Central Texas, 110 people with more than 170 unaccounted for. Flooding claiming more lives in New Mexico as well. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
In the same area scorched by wildfires last year.
Oh, there comes the house.
Oh, no.
Heavy rain sent rivers around Rio Doso out of their banks. Rio Doso Mayor Lynn Crawford says warnings were issued.
We knew it was coming in, but it just intensified so quickly.
A man and two children, 7 and 4, died after being swept away in New Mexico floodwaters. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Linda Yaccarino stepping down as CEO of X. She calls her time there the opportunity of a lifetime. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 10:31. I'm Connie Weber. A deadly overnight shooting on Milwaukee's north side, 42nd and Call. The victim, a 34-year-old, no arrests yet. You can keep your shoes on when traveling through Wisconsin. The new policy started Monday for all of Wisconsin's 8 airports, the first time the TSA policy has changed in 23 years. The wait is almost over for a major supermarket opening in West Allis. Pan Asia plans to open their first Wisconsin location July 24th at the former Kmart site near 70th and Greenfield. Store was supposed to open in December of 24, but equipment and construction delays pushed the supermarket's opening date back. Company says the location will be Wisconsin's largest Asian grocery store in terms of product offerings. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow up 47 points, 44,288. NASDAQ up 117 at 20,535. The S&P 500 up 18 points at 6,243. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Couple of new crashes. One is on Highway 60 east at Cheyenne Avenue. It is blocking the left 2 lanes. There's going to be some slowing in that area. Another I-43 north at the ramp from a 7th, the center lane there blocked due to a new crash. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy today with high 76 to 81. Inland clear, cool overnight, low 61. Mostly sunny tomorrow, high 77 to about 82. Then Friday and Saturday, we have chances of storms. Those storms could pop up in the afternoon on Friday after a high of 83. Storms likely in the morning on Saturday with a high of 82. Then Sunday, mostly sunny skies with a high of 85. 76 in Madison, 68 in Green Bay and Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:33.
WTMJ's John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. If you have big questions about inflation, money, and your retirement goals, join me Tuesday, July 15th with your questions as I co-host an Instant Insight webinar with Annex Wealth Management's Chief Economist, Brian Jacobson. It's July 15th at 9 a.m. It's free, but you must register. Go to WTMJ.com, click the Instant Insight Register Now button, or check out events at AnnexWealth.com. Tuesday, July 15th, 9 a.m. It's free, but you need to register.
Here's to sweet summer days together with friends and family in Wisconsin. To discovering magic in every moment.
Hey, Mom, over here.
And to reconnecting through a world filled with wonder.
Wow.
Here's to supper club celebrations and dancing until the sun goes down. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your summer getaway at travelwisconsin.com.
Summer is finally here. We're outside and maybe noticing the condition of our old windows. Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors, your local experts in stylish, energy-efficient replacement windows. Boost your curb appeal with top brands like Pella, Anderson, and Marvin, tailored to fit your home, your style, and your budget. Plus, installation by employee carpenters. Wood, vinyl, fiberglass, all on display in their newly remodeled New Berlin showroom. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. Visit hometownwindows.com today.
When you're due for tire service, visit richlands.com for the location nearest you.
We'll give you free flat tire repair on every tire we install. No questions asked. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands. You're due for service.
Richlands. When you speed, you have less time to react. Follow the speed limit to keep other road users safe. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey. He is Steve Scaffidi. And so the day before Governor Evers signed the budget, he also signed a pair of bipartisan bills that could strengthen nuclear power in Wisconsin. So one of them orders a $2 million study to find the best location for a nuclear fusion power plant in the state. And another creates a new board to advance nuclear power and fusion technology and hosts a national summit in Madison in 2028. So as someone who is very naive when it comes to nuclear energy, and I think tends to think of Chernobyl when I hear nuclear, I was really interested in getting an expert on to talk about what is the modern day status of nuclear energy. So joining us now is Paul Wilson, who is an expert on sustainable nuclear energy, energy policy, and radiation transport of nuclear systems at the College of Engineering at UW-Madison. Welcome to the show, Paul.
Thanks, Kristin. I'm glad to be here.
Happy to have you. So I guess for those of us who do not stay up to date on the progression and modernization of nuclear energy, how would you describe where we're at right now as far as this being a viable, affordable option when it comes to our energy?
Sure. So, nuclear energy has been providing close to 20% of the country's electricity for decades in the United States, and a little bit less than that here in Wisconsin since we shut one of our nuclear power plants down in 2013. And it has been one of the most stable, reliable sources of electricity and the largest source of clean electricity. It emits nothing to the atmosphere, no carbon, no other pollutants. And so it's a great opportunity for Wisconsin with this legislation to re-explore adding more nuclear power. The technology has certainly changed since the plants that we built, back before I was born, many of them. And so we're looking at a variety of different technologies, some of them similar to what we've done before. Maybe that'll be the fastest way forward, and some of them are smaller, and some of them use newer technologies, aiming to be more efficient and have a wider array of uses.
Paul, what would you say are the main assets or the pro on the side of pro-con on the side of the pro side of this argument for nuclear energy in places? I don't think we've built one in many, many years, right? 15 years or so. What would be the argument to sort of restart the nuclear energy program?
Sure. So just briefly on where we built them, we've actually completed 2 new large reactors down in Georgia in the last 2 years. And they've gone online and they've been, they're producing 24/7 clean electricity. And so, so what are the pros? I think the number one pro is that it doesn't emit anything to the environment. When you operate a nuclear power plant, there's nothing going into the environment. That matters for carbon, for people who care about climate change, but it also matters for NOx and SOx and things that cause, asthma exacerbation and local pollutants. And so that's at the top of the list for me and for many of our students and many of the people who care about this. But the other thing that's really important about nuclear is that it's a 24/7 reliable source of electricity. Our nuclear power plants around the country will operate for 18 months without shutting down, 24/7 and providing that electricity reliably. And that's really important when we look at some of the expanding needs for electricity. Data centers are on the top of a lot of people's minds, and those need to run 24/7. They need reliable electricity. So while it's important to expand renewables in places like Wisconsin, where we're a little bit behind the curve, you can't achieve everything you want to with renewables, and so matching them with nuclear to provide that reliable energy is also useful.
In the news lately across the country is the sort of the rise of data centers. Wisconsin's part of that story as well, with some coming and some being talked about. The role of nuclear in that is what exactly?
So a lot of these big tech companies, they want to ensure that the electricity they're consuming is clean and green. And so they're very interested in building power purchase agreements to get nuclear electricity. And there's a new headline every week from one of these companies. You can look at Microsoft has an $800 million agreement with Constellation Energy for a reactor at the 3 Mile Island site that they want to restart, and they're going to restart. And not the one that had the accident in 1979, but the other one that operated until 2019. Google has just made power purchase agreements with a number of countries. Amazon's in the same boat. And so, they want clean energy. If they could get it reliably from renewables, they might do that. But they know that the renewable energy, as clean as it is, it rises and falls with the weather, and they want something they can rely on all the time.
If we really jacked up how much access there was to nuclear energy, would that curb, because so often of what I'm hearing with the rise of AI is everyone's using it, but it could be just terrible for the climate because of the amount of water it uses and the emissions it puts out. If it builds and grows together with nuclear energy, does that kind of curb the impact on the climate?
Absolutely. I mean, if you were able to use nuclear energy for all your power for data centers, the climate impact would be close to zero.
Oh, wow.
Right?
So what's the holdup then? Like, what are the arguments against it that we're not like sprinting towards this more aggressively?
I mean, in lots of parts of the world are, and in other states, they're a little bit more active than we are. But I think that the big issue is that historically being a little more expensive than natural gas.
Got it.
And right now, we're at this tipping point about how serious we are about moving away from natural gas. Natural gas right now is very cheap. Since the late 2000s, 2008, since we've been fracking natural gas, it's been the cheapest option for most electricity supplies. And until it gets more expensive, or until we decide that we don't want to do it anymore, it's going to be hard on a pure economic basis to win out. If you really care about some of these environmental concerns, then nuclear is leading the charge, and that's why it's a bipartisan support. The last administration was aiming for tripling our nuclear energy capacity in the country, and this administration is now talking about the same thing.
Paul, where do we fall as compared to other countries? I remember driving through Europe, somewhere in Europe last year. I had a couple trips there, and I remember seeing some of these silos or these nuclear facilities. How do we compare to like other countries, including like China, who is a vastly larger country with way more people? Where do we fall in the mix?
Right. So the United States produces more nuclear electricity than any other country.
Wow.
And always has done. People often don't realize that. I said it's about 20% of our electricity. So as a share of our electricity, it doesn't match some of the headliners like France. But as a total amount, we have 94 reactors operating in this country. And most years, until recently, we've produced more than the next two countries combined. So the United States is a real leader in nuclear energy. We've developed it here, we commercialized it here, and we've built more of it here than anywhere else in the world. Now, if you look today, other countries are building reactors at a much higher rate than we are in this country. The two reactors that were finished in Georgia started in the late 2000s. They finished just last year. And it was the first time we started new reactor construction for about 30 years. And that came with a lot of bumps and lessons learned. There's a lot of those two reactors were pretty expensive. They took much longer to build than we expected. But there's a lot of people who think that if we were to capitalize on the lessons we learned there, we could do it again for those same reactor technologies much more quickly and much more cheaply.
Well, very interesting. We'll certainly have to have you back on as things progress here in Wisconsin. But Paul Wilson is an expert on sustainable nuclear energy at the College of Engineering at UW-Madison. Thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was great to talk to you.
All right, it is 10:44, and it's WTMJ.
Are you sick of not being your bank's top priority? We are too. At Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. We're proud to be your one true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. That's right in your backyard. Whether you're opening your first account, buying a home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have tailored solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank at wintrust.com. Wintrust, different approach, better results. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp Banks. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scaffidi. I want to talk about QC Kinetics. You have knee, hip, shoulder pain? Me, it was elbow. I went to talk to their great team and Dr. Ashley Caravelli, and we started my treatments a couple weeks ago. I got another appointment next week. They don't mask the pain. They don't try to hide or do other things. They use treatments like advanced cellular therapy and platelet-rich plasma, your own plasma, all designed to actually help your body heal itself. That's what I'm doing for my elbow. It's real results that can make you move easier. My elbow's already a lot more flexible than it was a few weeks ago. You can live a better life. It doesn't cost anything to get a second opinion. That's where QC Kinetics can help you out. You can learn more about what can be life-changing for you, whatever you're dealing with. Dr. Caravelli and her team will go over your x-rays if you have them, MRIs, and see if you're a good fit for these breakthrough treatments. Like me, 414-285-3474. That's the number to start your journey with QC Kinetics. 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics, changing my life. Start your journey with them today.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between.
Now through Wednesday, save on 5 to 15.75 ounce selected varieties Frito-Lay Cheetos, Fritos, or Fritos Dip, 2 for $7. 16 ounce or 4 count selected varieties Halo Top Ice Cream or Bars, $3.99. 10 to 13 ounce selected varieties Marie Calendar Bowls or Pop Pies, 2 for $5. 3 to 6 count selected varieties Snickers or Dove Novelties, $4.49.
Attention shoppers. Safe.
Okay. Ooh. Pineapple fulfills every need.
While you're shopping, a drive way back, it's a gunner.
There's something goofy going on with the PA.
Need a price check and I'll take me out to the ball game.
See, what is going on?
You're hearing things. We're at Century Foods, and you can't take your mind off winning that ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes.
I'm hoping to throw out the first pitch at a Milwaukee baseball game.
Or attend batting practice.
Or hold the finish line ribbon for the racing sausages.
You don't say.
The ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes at Century Foods. Enter on Century's Facebook or Instagram by July 30th.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Comfort Awnings. This summer, I'm getting relief from the hot sun whenever I need it with my motorized retractable awning from Comfort Awnings. Sensors are also available that detect strong wind and rain to extend or retract your awning. They even protect against UV radiation so you can safely enjoy the outdoors all summer long. Family owned and located in Burlington, Comfort Awnings expertly installs custom awnings that fit your home and style. Right now, you can receive $250 off all awnings and screens. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com.
You just can't pass on Less is Glass. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
Oh, that's a good song for this topic. TSA, Kristin.
As someone who flies a lot or flew a lot, are you happy about this?
Yes. Well,
tell the people what we're talking about.
so TSA is dumping their take your shoes off policy as you go through the checkpoints at airports across this country.
Which you could already do if you had TSA pre-check.
Which I did. So I haven't had to take my shoes off for quite a while. But in Europe, I had to in several airports. I think I was in Dublin. I had to take them off. So that's, it's not a, across the world program. And this certainly
is for
not,
TSA.
Yeah, TSA domestically in the United States. I know that, we had obviously all the threats from terrorists going back to a few months after 9/11 when, what's his name, Richard Reed had the shoe bomb. And that's what started all this stuff. They immediately instituted this shoe policy. I think we've gotten past that. I think the security measures are so good now that they don't need to have people. And it should speed up the process. I mean, as somebody I probably, in my public and private life since I was 18, I think it's the first time I flew, or 17, I've probably flown 1,000 times, different flights around the world. It's like a hassle. It's still a hassle, to have to go through all that stuff. And as a kid, my dad worked at the airport. There was no security. He would take us to work. We would run through the airport.
Isn't that funny when you think about movies in the 90s?
Goodness.
Like when you watch pre-2001 movies and the romantic scene in the terminal when you're waving and the person can see you because they had the magic spot on the airplane to wave back and see you crying as you wave goodbye. There's not a lot of that. Or greeting people at their terminal when they get off the plane.
Yeah, everybody
not
went to the airport.
Anymore.
Grandma's coming into town. Let's go meet her at the gates.
So what's weird about this story is I think the average flyer is like, woohoo! Like, thank God, because I don't think anyone was really that scared of shoe bombs. But what's interesting is that Gate Access is the outlet that broke this story, which I'd never heard of before. But apparently it's a Substack dedicated to airline news. And apparently this is political. It's a political reason, which I'm still trying to get more information out of. But they're saying
two Republican
that
senators asked for this.
So if there's a recent bill from 2 Republican senators calling for the abolishment of TSA.
Yeah, which is
since when has TSA been a political I don't think of TSA as being anything besides sometimes not that effective as far as
slow, but
or
also
whatever,
necessary,
or sometimes rude
right?
or whatever.
It's necessary.
Yes, they're there to make us safe, but as far as I don't think of them as a foe to either political party. So I'm trying to understand what if they abolished TSA, what would replace it?
I have no idea. Less security, a world where there's more terror.
But it's Mike Lee. Lee and Tuberville introduced bill to abolish the TSA.
I know some people love those two gentlemen. I don't. They come up with some of the dumbest ideas, and to abolish TSA as part of this, whether it's DOGE efforts to just eliminate all the government agencies so we can just let one person rule the world or rule the country.
So here's what it is. I got the quote. This is from Mike Lee. This is his press release on it. The TSA has not only intruded into the privacy and personal space of most Americans, it has also repeatedly failed tests to find weapons and explosives. Our bill privatizes security functions at American airports under the eye of an Office of Aviation Security oversight, bringing this bureaucratic behemoth to a welcome end.
So he creates another government agency when one already exists because he doesn't like the one that already exists. Because they hassled him at the airport because he was being a pain in the you-know-what when he was going through security. That's probably more likely the scenario. Here's my ask. Let's extend it to the planes. Keep your shoes on the plane. What is this free-for-all with people? No.
What about people who wear sandals?
No, none of that.
You gotta keep the sandals on, even though most of the foot's already showing?
Keep the sandals on. Barefoot. I think I told you this before. Someone walked to the bathroom barefoot. Are you serious? That's disgusting. That's insane. Throw that person off the plane.
Yeah. I feel like that'd be a long list for you of all the things that just drive you nuts on planes.
I did whole hours
Someone clipping their nails.
Yeah, that's another one.
Brushing their hair.
Or the hair flip thing where some women or guys now with the long hair, they flip it over the seat. That ain't happening on a flight that I'm sitting behind you. Trust me.
Do you recline your seat?
No.
Good for you.
I'm respectful to other people.
It is nice.
Yeah. I think that is nice.
It is nice. It's considerate.
Yeah. I'm glad we agree on that.
All right.
All right. We got to take a quick break. We talk some podcast stuff. We got a new podcast we're recording, or we recorded it already. Well, I forgot what it was.
Okay.
All right. We'll get to that.
We'll clear it all up.
After the break.
I just got the ugliest feet in the world. I got the ugliest toes.
Get inside the mind of Mark Tauscher.
The older players on the other team will come and just kind of, what they call it is, we're going to try to find the fish. And you don't want to be the fish.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, every day at 7:50.
So my welcome to the NFL moment is as I get in my stance, they give me the little smirk like, buckle up. Thing is, you see it on film, every special teams coach is going to say, there's the fish.
Mark Tauscher, presented by Hello Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and Kohler Services.
Hey, WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi for Evan. I love talking about Evan because it changed my life and it could change yours. If you have the snoring issues, the tossing and turning, the waking up not rested and refreshed, do something about it. What are you waiting for? Today's the day. Call Advent. 30-minute visit. They put me at ease when I first went there 5 years ago. We did a really simple sleep study at home in my own bed. They determined my problem, common, sinuses, nasal passages, breathing triangle. They did a short procedure. Since that moment, breathing better than ever. And here's the big one, sleeping through the whole night, which means my wife, Kathy, can sleep through the whole night because I'm not snoring all night. If you struggle like I used to, take the time to see how Advent can help you. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better, go to adventknows.com. Schedule an appointment today. Do not wait because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Save on the best quality furniture and mattresses during the July Independence Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. With major discounts from our premier suppliers, you will save big on top brands like Bradington Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Bradington Young is known for its fine quality leather upholstery. Fjords brings you modern Scandinavian design recliners and sofas, ergonomically engineered for more hip and back support. Norwalk, with American roots that go back over 100 years, specializes in making furniture just for you. Choose the piece, style, fabric, or leather you want, and in just 35 days, we'll deliver your new sofa, chair, or sectional. In-stock or special orders are all sale priced. Need a little help putting it all together? At Ken Michaels Furniture, our design staff is ready to help you with your purchases, and it's free. Stop in today and save now during the Independence Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture on Capitol Drive in Brookfield, Highway 100 in Greenfield, or our downtown Mattress Factory showroom.
Tyson's Home Farm Auto is opening a brand new store in Ripon this fall. Tyson's is your go-to store for all things farm and home. Check us out at Tysons.com. That's THEISENS.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
If you missed our interview with Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers, you can always find it on our podcast page, WTMJ.com, or wherever you get your podcast. Just text POINTS, P-O-I-N-T, and it's there for you.
Apparently, RFK went to the airplane bathroom barefoot. Someone just texted that in. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't care. It's still weird. And then, of course, I'm doing the we ones first. We do You Need to Listen, which is not just a podcast, it's also an instruction. Listen is the way you find that. And we have some great topics. I've completely spaced out what we talked about on this week's edition.
That's because we recorded it, I think, early last week or mid last week.
Time ago.
So we talked about an interesting point. I think we actually made it on the show, too, but we go into deeper detail on the podcast of the amount of people who do not pay when they hit a paywall.
Oh, yes. Pay for news.
Yeah, so paying for news. And so this is when we actually disagreed more, because I think that says something different about our behavior than you do.
Yeah, I think it's making us stupid and stupider.
But I think there's something to be said as far as just because when you hit a paywall doesn't mean you're not paying for other news sources.
Maybe.
It's just like, how badly do you want to read this story?
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyways, you can listen to the podcast. We get into it a lot deeper.
Yeah, so
that's coming out tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Yeah, listen is the way you find that. And for just, yours truly, if you want to find my, I think 53 or 54, 55, what is it, Jazz? Episodes of Scaffidi-ology.
56.
56 now. Every topic you can think of under the rainbow. I've talked to game changers and talked about topics that I love. All available just by texting the word Steve, S-T-E-V-E. And, of course, WTMJ Outdoors, which is an awesome news show here on 620 WTMJ, which airs Saturdays. But you can find it online all the time, wherever you get your podcasts, or at WTMJ.com. Outdoors is the way you find that, and got a good one this weekend. They're all interesting, and every week is different. I had kayakers last week, and the woman from the DNR who manages our elk herd. It's all things outdoors. We're going to do it. We're going to stretch that. Today, I'm going to talk about, for one of the future episodes, someone who went on a deep sea fishing trip that works with us here. I just want to hear about that story. So everything outdoors. Isn't that cool?
Very cool.
Outdoors.
Outdoors.
I need more enthusiasm.
855-616-1620. If you don't want to text one of those words to get the podcast, text us a question, because at 11:30, we're doing Ask Us Anything, because it is Hump Day.
All right, and after the news, you want some religion with that politics? Big change that's not being talked about, but we're going to talk about it. That's next.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
As host of the Fix-It Show, I've talked to countless homeowners worried about musty basements, water seepage, and foundation cracks. And my answer is always the same. Call Accurate Basement Repair. They're not just Wisconsin's #1 rated foundation and waterproofing team. They deliver real peace of mind. I've recommended them for years because I know the quality of their work. And more importantly, the integrity behind it.
Wow, we're grateful for that trust, David. Every home we restore, we treat like our own. And that's what Accurate is all about.
They're not just good, they're accurate.
accurate. WTMJ's John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. If you have big questions about inflation, money, and your retirement goals, join me Tuesday, July 15th with your questions as I co-host an Instant Insight webinar with Annex Wealth Management's Chief Economist, Brian Jacobson. It's July 15th at 9 a.m. It's free, but you must register. Go to WTMJ.com, click the Instant Insight Register Now button, or check out events at AnnexWealth.com. Tuesday, July 15th, 9 a.m. It's free, but you need to register.
All different types of injury lawyers advertise. Cartoon lawyers, bobblehead lawyers, and folks chasing ambulances with text messages. Our clients don't want or need such lawyers. Our clients know, like, and trust that Pasternak and Zergabel will help in their time of need. I'm Jeff Zergabel of Pasternak and Zergabel. Frank Pasternak and I are excellent personal injury lawyers in our community. If you need help after an injury, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com. That's injurywisconsin.com.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes senior living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Pam.
Good friends of ours moved there, and they had invited us over for dinner a number of times. And they said, we waited way too long. You should come when you're younger. They had no idea it was going to be this great. There are just so many things to do, and it keeps you young. I mean, we have a lot of residents who are pushing 100. I believe they're there and still alive because of Three Pillars.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
It might be showtime in L.A., but in Milwaukee, there's a new star on the rise.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. What a start for the Miz here this afternoon. Listen to this crowd.
The Brewers and the Dodgers face off in Milwaukee. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts today at 12:35 on the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
11:01, we have 67 degrees. It's going to be partly cloudy today with high 76, lakeside up to 81. Inland from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. Former President Joe Biden's White House doctor pleaded the Fifth today, refusing to answer questions posed by a House committee that's now formally investigating Biden's health while in office.
His attorney says the former president's physician cited two bases for refusing to answer lawmakers' questions: doctor-patient confidentiality and the Fifth Amendment's protection against self-incrimination. House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer.
What Dr. O'Connor did today only added fuel to the fire, that there was a cover-up.
But the panel's vice-ranking member, Texas Democrat Jasmine Crockett, said Kevin O'Connor should never have been expected to violate his patient's privacy.
There at least was one person in the room that understands what an oath is, and that was the doctor.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
More than 100 dead, over 170 still missing following that flooding in central Texas. 5 campers and a counselor still missing from Camp Mystic, the girls' camp that was washed away along the Guadalupe River. ABC's Matt Gutman talked to survivors, cousins Georgia and Eloise Jones.
At what point did you know that something was wrong at the camp?
Well, around 2 a.m. or 3, another cabin had run into our cabin saying there's water in their cabin and they can't stay there. Yeah, that's when we realized, like, something was wrong. Yeah. And our cabins are high up, and for them to be flooding, it's like, something's wrong.
The devastation and loss of life leading to more questions regarding the warning systems that were in place and whether officials are even vigilant about warning people in this area of Texas known as Flash Flood Alley. Calling for change after an officer-involved shooting in Shorewood.
34-year-old Victoria Truss was killed in a domestic violence-related homicide in Shorewood last Thursday at her home on Oakland and Bartlett. Her family is calling for the community to do better in regards to gun violence. Truss's grandmother telling media.
Another way to honor her is put the guns down. Now they got to run and get guns and stuff. Put the guns down. Cowards. Because the Bible says you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Her funeral is set for July 18th. Elizabeth Linton, WTMJ News.
As the Milwaukee County Transit System prepares to discuss their ongoing budget deficit issues with the county's Transportation Committee today, they'll do it without their interim managing director.
Julie Esch's departure from MCTS was relayed in an internal email late Tuesday. Chief Administrative Officer Sandra Kellner will serve as interim managing director, while MCTS continues a year-long search for a permanent replacement to Denise Wantke. The resignation comes as MCTS faces a nearly $11 million budget deficit due in part to bloating overtime hours and riders not paying their bus fare. Meanwhile, the union representing drivers is planning a vote today on whether or not to authorize a strike. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
20 new cameras installed across the city to catch illegal trash dumpers. City officials say it's the best way to deter dumpers from causing trash blights in neighborhoods. Mayor Cavalier Johnson.
It's a crime of laziness and selfishness. If you're already getting in your car to drive to someplace to dump and do it illegally, why wouldn't you just get in your car and drive to the self-help centers and dump it there and do it many times for free?
Those caught dumping will face a $5,000 fine for each offense. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow up 93 points, NASDAQ up 114, the S&P 500 is up 18. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:05.
The historic Fox and Hound Supper Club is the most beautiful and affordable summer dining destination. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Listen to this. This Saturday only, enjoy a 10-ounce prime rib with a mixed grill of 3 shrimp, 3 scallops, and 4-ounce grilled salmon topped with garlic butter and all the sides for $69.99, and that's for 2 dinners. That's right, 2 world-class dinners for $69.99. Relax with a cold beverage on that patio in the woods, then your free dinner in one of the 8 unique, beautiful dining rooms. The Fox and Hounds off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the Holy Hill Shrine. That drive through the Connemara Forest is absolutely gorgeous. And this Saturday only, enjoy 2 prime rib, shrimp, scallop, and salmon dinners for just $69.99. That's ridiculously good. Desserts are always buy one, get one free, and they're fantastic. Great service, great food, but call and reserve today for your free Saturday dinner. The famous Fox and Hounds.
Tired of all the bugs in your yard? Enjoy your backyard again with Cutter Backyard, ready to spray bug control at Menards. It kills mosquitoes, fleas, ticks, and other insects fast, controlling them for up to 12 weeks. A 32-ounce ready-to-spray container covers up to 5,000 square feet and is on sale now through July 13th. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake, tee off at the Lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course, or unwind at the award-winning Caladora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen, explore stunning shores and historic landmarks, and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Brewers won their 3rd game in a row. Milwaukee beat the Dodgers 3-1 to claim a series victory. Milwaukee and LA conclude their series today. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I-43 North seems to be the hot spot at the ramp from 7th. The left lane there blocked due to a crash. Also still working on that right lane closure due to a fire earlier this morning. I-43 North at Hampton Avenue West. So expect some slowing in that area as well. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy today, high 76 lakeside, 81 inland, clear, cool overnight, 61. Sunny tomorrow, pretty much the same as today, 77 to 82 for the high temperatures. Chance for afternoon storms on Friday, partly cloudy and humid with a high of 83. Storms likely Saturday morning with a high of 82. And Sunday, sunshine, high of 85. 74 in Madison, still 67 in Green Bay and Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scaffidi and Kristin Brey.
Oh, yeah. We're having fun on a Wednesday. It's Hump Day, of course. We celebrate that actively and openly on the show. It's Point Taken is the show. Are you questioning that?
I definitely think you celebrate it.
I do celebrate
actively
it.
and openly.
I thought we had a team going here. Maybe there's some
no, it's a fun bit.
It is a fun bit. You know, the morning show does bits all morning, so maybe that's our bits.
Do we need more bits?
No, we need less bits. This is my opinion. We need less bits, and we also need less cowboy hats on people doing pressers after tragedies. I get you're in Texas. Wear the cowboy hat outside. Take it off when you're doing the damn presser.
But then they're going to have bad hair.
I don't care what their hair looks like. You don't need a hat on inside.
Does that really bother
or
you
no
that
hair.
much?
I don't want hats in restaurants. I don't want hats at pressers. Put your hat on when you get outside.
But it's part of the
I don't
outfit.
I don't need the outfit. I don't need performative.
I don't think it's performative. I don't think a lot of people in Texas just wear the hat.
I know. I'm going to get all this Texas because people from Texas hate me right now because I've been very adamant about some of the things they failed to do there. Let's talk about something else.
All right.
Because I'm sort of fired up on this one.
Yes. Okay. So the IRS is now going to allow churches to endorse political candidates.
At least while we still have an IRS.
Yes. So it's a reversal of a 70-year-old policy. And the IRS announced yesterday that they are going to permit churches to make endorsements from the pulpit without losing their tax exemption, their tax exempt status. So the more details to this is basically, first it was expensive to even root this out, right, and prove. And there's only one church that's ever even lost its tax exemption
92.
politics, which was 1992, a church in New York took out ads opposing Bill Clinton.
Well, because you know what was happening then. That was the crazy part of the Clinton era, wasn't it?
No, that was...
Was that pre-Monica Lewinsky?
No, that was when he first got elected. That was when he beat
when was the
HW.
Lewinsky stuff? 94, 95?
No, that was his second term.
That'd be 97.
So it was 97. I remember because I was in middle school and I was didn't really understand what the story was, but kind of understood what the story was in that middle school age.
Was it the stories of the campaign where he was allegedly doing things he shouldn't be doing? Was that sort of what drove some of these? I don't know.
I don't know what the ads
background.
were. I'm just saying this. As far as this, how big of a deal is this? That's my question. It's on its face, I think we say, there's questions as far as tax exemption for some of these churches, especially some of these mega churches, and how rich some of these pastors are, and the Joel Osteens and stuff like that.
I call them fake pastors.
Yeah, so there's that conversation that is kind of even different and separate from politics. But I mean, we already know that evangelical denominations have been pretty political and are pretty a really strong base for the right. You have Souls to the Polls in Milwaukee and different Black communities across the country as far as different pastors getting, and that's less partisan. That's just getting people out to vote. But I think there's certain religions where this is more palatable, or denominations, I should say, where this is more palatable versus apparently there's a fair amount of public polling that most people don't want their pastor telling them who to vote for.
I agree with that. But who's to say that this doesn't open the floodgates where pastors primarily, because I know enough pastors personally from my time in public service, that they speak to their congregations, they lead the conversation, they lead the discussion, not just on faith, but on life. Many of these individuals, mostly men, when they do their sermon, and I know it's called different things in different churches, when they do that presentation.
Homily?
Yeah, they lead the way. I would hate to see those conversations become littered, my term, with politics and not the purpose of what you're speaking to and why you're there, of the faith of your membership.
But do you really think this is the floodgates? Do you really think this is what was holding them up before? We might lose our tax-exempt status if I really speak my mind about this. You don't think it just comes back to the character of the spiritual leader?
Well, that's also important. But don't hinge it just on the cases that were the one case, because I think it was a sort of a barrier for some people to go over the top with some of this stuff. And it's no coincidence, again, not picking on Texas, but these cases came from Texas. They want to be able to do whatever the hell they want to do, and I used hell on purpose, Mom, to basically politicize from the pulpit their messaging in a church. And I agree with the polling that says most people don't want that, but these leaders, these fake pastors or whatever they are.
Don't you think they're already, the ones who are going to do it are already doing it?
Some are.
You think this has been holding people back from saying what they want and it politicizing their sermon if they feel inspired to do so?
I think it held some people back, yes. I mean, you're not buying it, but don't just look at the lawsuit, the one case. I think it was a natural barrier to just opening the doors and say, let's make politics part of our faith. I don't want that. Maybe some congregations do. I don't want that. I've walked out of churches when a priest made it political.
Okay,
I've
so you're
walked
Catholic,
out of a
right?
church. I'm a Catholic, yes.
So how do you feel then about the fact that the president of the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops spoke out against the reconciliation bill?
I don't like it.
So you don't like that either?
I don't like
as far as
no.
him, and there certainly were tweets from the new Pope Leo, and some of his veiled criticism of policies that are hurting people. So, like, is that... Because it goes back to the questions, like, politics is infused in everything.
Yeah.
I mean, religion is political.
Unfortunately, yes.
But
here's my take, and this is not news to you. My take is politics ruins everything. It doesn't make anything better. It ruins most everything, I should probably say. I mean, we have freeways because we have politics. I guess that's...
what I was say. Like, what are you defining as which part of politics? Because obviously things have to get done. Separating politics from governing.
Bickering, the hatred that one group of people has for another people now, that's all because of politics. No, it's not a modern phenomenon. It happens since the beginning of time. Cultures hated each other. They still hate each other.
Religions hated each other.
We've
had a lot of wars and a lot of death over
We've
religion.
killed more people in this world because of faith than probably any other reason. But yet we still want to practice our faith, which is a good thing. But that's the dirty little...
Doesn't that inherently prove that religion has always been political?
I don't like it. Whether it's been or not, I don't like it to be political. I want to hear about the words that my faith or your faith, if we're talking about someone else, are promoting. To not...
What aspects of faith do you feel like are innately Let's take a break. We're going to come back to this. We're going to come back and talk about what aspects of religion do you think are totally separate from politics? Think about it. We'll talk about it on the other side of this. It's Point Taken.
When we're out in your town, come say hi as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show, wherever we may be.
You can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
News Radio 620 WTMJ.
Hey, WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi here for Milwaukee Weight Loss. Somebody asked me the other day, how's it going? I go, perfect. Because it sort of reset my life. And I was out at Ishnala last night eating a wonderful dinner, but I ate sensibly. I skipped a baked potato and had broccoli. But changing how you eat and how you consume your calories, thinking about all that stuff is something that Milwaukee Weight Loss encouraged me to do through sort of a more personalized approach to weight loss. None of the shots, none of the gimmicky stuff, the meals and the bars and all that stuff. I'll have an energy bar on occasion because I like them. And I also don't have to think about the weight creeping back because I've actually lost weight in the maintenance phase as well. They help me lose weight without all of that gimmicky stuff. And the real results, for me, 40 pounds, many people 10 to 20% of their body weight, those results can last. So if you have a reunion or a wedding or whatever you want to go look better at or take better pictures, you can stop that yo-yo dieting and take control of your life. Here's how you do it. Schedule your free consultation today at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com or call 262-393-2334. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Lake Geneva. It's where families have been making memories around the water for generations. Lakeside resorts and spas, award-winning restaurants, and charming shops are just the beginning of an unforgettable summer getaway. Lake cruises, boating, and beach lounging let you soak up the sun, water, and family time. Hike a lakeshore path, stargaze from an iconic observatory, or soar above it all in a hot air balloon. Go ziplining, visit an animal safari, or see dancing horses. Start making your memories today at visitlakegeneva.com.
I would have picked this song too. R.E.M. Love the song, love the band. You familiar with R.E.M.?
I am familiar with this song.
Yes. Are you a music file, audio file?
No, not like you.
No.
I feel like, and jazz is really good too. I feel like
jazz, she's got it going on when it comes to music.
Being able to recognize songs and artists and albums and all that.
And I have friends that are even better than me. They know the lyrics that. I have friends who know the lyrics to every Bruce Springsteen song, which is an extensive library. I could never do that.
Okay.
On a moment's notice. Anyway, you asked me a question before the break.
So, because you were saying you want your politics separate from your religion.
I want it out of religion.
What aspects of religion do you feel like are inherently not political?
I guess I'm not really understanding your question. Let me answer.
So let's take in, notoriously Catholicism, very anti-gay marriage, or same-sex union, and anti-abortion. both two political aspects of that. So, like, would you rather them not preach those things?
Yes, I would like that to stay out. If your faith has a text, whether it's the Bible or, the Quran, whatever it is, that's what, to me, your faith and your worship and your services should be about. The words of that text. If you're going to allow pastors, and this is just my opinion. I know
this is why we're talking about it.
I know a lot of people disagree with this. If you go freestyling on what pastors think their congregation wants to hear, I don't know that, like, how do you control that? And I give you the example. I walked out of a Catholic church, I'm not going to say which one, because the priest was hyper political. I can't remember even the story anymore, but it just offended me. I left. I go, I'm not sitting here and listening to this, and I just left. And I didn't make a big deal out of it. I just left. But that I didn't want that in my service, and I don't want that in my service. And the reason
feel good homilies. You're like, I want to feel good about being a good person and inspired to go out and do good in the world.
I just had this conversation the other day with somebody. I want those moments between a faith leader and their group.
Congregation?
I don't want to use that term because other faiths call it different things,
Okay.
but that's a general term. I want those to be more about, here's how you can start getting along with people better. You don't have to get into the specific legal issues or the political issues. Here's how you should respect your fellow men and women in this world. Because I've said this many times on all iterations of this show. So many people, so many faith leaders act differently outside of their place of worship than they do inside. They treat people like SH blank T as soon as they leave.
Really? You know people who, like faith leaders who are rude?
Oh, yeah. They have all kinds of opinions, and I'm not going to name names, but they have all kinds of opinions that outside of their place of worship, dude, where's that coming from?
Oh, that's interesting.
It is interesting. That's a reality that I don't think a lot of people face, but I'm more interested in the congregation. Do
you think that's more of because you were part of the interfaith, well, not part of it, but you were,
yes.
Whatever. You know a lot of people in the Interfaith Council.
Yeah.
So what percentage of faith leaders do you know?
It's small.
Okay. So most of them are good, kind people in your experience. There's a couple.
Yeah.
A couple bad apples, would you say?
Well, there's bad apples and everything, right? People who are just disgruntled about everything. And boy, if you're disgruntled, that's not your job. That's not the job you should have. Yeah. It drives me nuts that the congregation, the people who go to services, can find it so easy to listen to their faith leader and then step outside those doors and start targeting people because they're of a different political party or they don't like what they say about. It's like, why? Why would you be that person? Why would you not listen to the words of your faith and respect people for the fact that they're a fellow human being in a world that's got a lot of problems, and maybe you're griping about all this stuff or your pointing of a finger is not helping that scenario get any better. That's the way I look at it. So my overall take on this is I think this is not a good thing because I think it opens the door to some of this nonsense. And I don't want to go to a church, in my case, and be lectured to about politics. And if that happens to me, and I'm not an every week goer, but I do go to church. I was at church a few months ago. I will walk out.
But you have that choice.
I do have that choice. But I'd rather stick for the whole service, because one of the great things about going to a service, talking afterwards, seeing people, maybe something you only see once a week. That's kind of the cool thing about it. I know it's a long-winded answer to that, but I just don't see this as a good development. And who knows? With this administration, we may not even have an IRS at some point.
Do you think churches should be tax exempt?
If they're actually churches or places of worship, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
We will end it there.
All right.
And take a break. And when we come back, I'll start getting your questions in. Because
ask us anything.
We have one more segment, but at the bottom, after the bottom of the hour news, we are going to do Ask Us Anything. I don't know what we're going to talk about next.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. This is Point Taken.
Imagine that unbelievable new deck in your backyard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's #1 timber tech deck builder. Building new decks and replacing old ones, creating that $1 million feeling every time you relax in your own backyard. Looking for a company to make your backyard scream wow? Stop by Outdoor Living Unlimited's resourceful Waukesha showroom and visit outdoorlivingunlimited.com.
Loyalty and family. A few things are more important. I hurt myself in my headphones. It drove me nuts. All right. This is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi. Loyal Family Renovation. I love talking about these guys because they saved the day for me. We had a horrible storm last year in Oak Creek. Hail damage. I had a lot of it. Jeff and Jake worked closely with the two guys and their team, and they're absolute pros. The entire process was as smooth as possible. They worked with my insurance company. We got on the phone together on my patio, and we talked through all the issues, the concerns that Jeff and Jake had, the adjuster concerns and questions. We handled all of that together, and they know how to deal with the adjusters. Trust me. Quick answers, top-notch customer service, and they had it all resolved in 2 days. Brand new roof, and I had 3 different ages of my roof, all brand new, all warranted, clean as a whistle. They took care of all of that. I was so impressed. I told everybody about it. If a storm damage hits your house, call the team that made it easy for me. Loyal Family Renovations. Visit loyalfamilyrenovations.com.
WTMJ's John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. If you have big questions about inflation, money, and your retirement goals, join me Tuesday, July 15th with your questions as I co-host an Instant Insight webinar with Annex Wealth Management's Chief Economist, Brian Jacobson. It's July 15th at 9 a.m. It's free, but you must register. Go to WTMJ.com, click the Instant Insight Register Now button, or check out events at AnnexWealth.com. Tuesday, July 15th, 9 a.m. It's free, but you need to register.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
Jake suffered with carpal tunnel syndrome.
Tingling numbness in my hands and fingers, not sleeping well at night, tossing and turning, trying to manage with pain pills and stretching, and it just wasn't helping.
He didn't want the traditional invasive carpal tunnel surgery.
I had seen people with the bandages and scars and clubs for hands. I just don't have time to be incapable of doing things for 6 to 8 to 10 weeks.
Then he learned about the Ovation Hand Institute and the Ovation Technique, an ultra minimally invasive procedure done in the office.
I wanted to get it looked at sooner than later. So I had the virtual consult. It was very thorough as far as like I was sitting in a doctor's office. I was booked for the procedure 2 weeks later, had my right hand done. Very quick procedure. It was really great. That very night when I went home, it was the first time in probably 3 months my hand did not wake me up.
Book an appointment with the Ovation Hand Institute and find out if you're a candidate for the Ovation Technique.
Probably the most surprising thing was how quickly I was able to do things again. I'm cooking dinner, I'm doing yard work and all that kind of stuff the next day.
Visit ovationhand.com. ovationhand.com.
We're going to have Ask Us Anything going in a few minutes here after the bottom of the hour news with Connie Weber. I'm excited about, we already got questions coming in. There's sports questions. There's card collecting questions. There's faith questions, because we're just talking about that. Real quick on that, I think there is a difference between the issues of politics and the sort of the endorsement of parties and candidates. I think that's sort of
So it's like the difference between like C3 and C4.
Yeah.
So when you think about different nonprofits, so League of Women Voters, nonprofit C3 organization that does not endorse candidates or a party, but talks about issues. And through those issues, sometimes you can probably glean who they are voting for. But there are strong rules around that as far as actual candidate work versus policy issue work. And is that what you're talking about? You think you think the churches need to be more on the C3 aisle?
I guess, because I just see that there's a general relaxation of rules that's happening now in this administration and I'm generally a less government guy, but it has to be done in the right way and obviously it's subjective and I have my own biases, as we all do. But I think just taking rules out and allowing agencies to police themselves, or in the case of the IRS, just you guys figure it out. Send us what you can, and we'll be good with that. Well, that's going to result in massive explosion of deficits if we don't have an IRS that keeps people to actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. I know people don't like taxes, but I sort of think we have to have some process. Because do we really think...
You think the transit system in Milwaukee is bad because people are skipping fares? Wait till people just start paying their taxes.
There's no IRS. I don't have to send my taxes in. I have met people in my life, I think I've interviewed some of them, who just basically stopped paying taxes for 10 years.
And just waited until the IRS knocked on their door?
Yeah.
Did they get away with it?
No.
Did they go to jail?
No, they didn't go to jail.
They did not go
but
to prison?
Their life becomes miserable.
Interesting.
Yeah, but they just stopped.
Would they say it was worth it?
No, I don't think they said, well, no, it was worth it during the period of not
sure,
paying.
but I'm saying
Not
in
at
the long
end.
run.
Yeah, but isn't that crazy? Rules, sometimes
too much
rules
of a
are
rule follower
important.
to ever do that.
Yeah, I mean, rules are important for a reason, right? There has to be some structure, otherwise it's chaos, and chaos leads to chaos. You right?
Yeah.
All right. So 855-616-1620 is the number to send your questions in. It's called Ask Us Anything. You can ask any question. It can be about the can be about the governor and the legislature apparently kumbayaing their way to a budget bill that's now signed. It's the law. So lots to talk about. We got
lots of questions already.
Yeah, it's good. I always enjoy this segment. It can be a free-for-all sometimes, but it allows us to sort of flex. So we got Connie Weber with local news. Why don't we do this? Let's get the latest now from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The death toll in Texas climbing to 118 following the July 4th flash flooding. More than 170 people are still missing, most of them in Kerr County. The sheriff says crews won't stop searching for victims. ABC's Matt Gutman is there.
I've been speaking with EMS officials who are telling me that they are going to scour every single inch of the Guadalupe River all the way down to its terminus at Canyon Lake. That's 125 river miles away. It's a process that could take months.
On Capitol Hill, Dr. Kevin O'Connor, the former White House physician for President Joe Biden, appeared for a GOP House deposition into Biden's health. The doctor did not respond to multiple questions under health insurance portability and accountability, or HIPAA. Doctors have a legal obligation to not talk about their patients, including interactions and diagnosis. 2 years after Elon Musk hired Linda Yaccarino as CEO for X, Yaccarino announcing she's leaving the social media platform. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Connie Weber. Decision, Wisconsin. A Republican businessman announces his candidacy for Wisconsin governor. Bill Berrien is CEO of Pindle Global Precision and Liberty Precision in New Berlin. Berrien joins Washington County Executive Josh Shulman in the GOP shortlist. Governor Tony Evers has promised an announcement on whether he'll seek a third term in the coming weeks. Federal funding in jeopardy for public libraries across Wisconsin. That's due to the planned elimination of the Institute of Museum and Library Services. The agency is the main source of federal funding for libraries and museums nationwide. Libraries across the state asking the public to write a postcard to their congressional leaders, sharing why libraries are important to them and their communities. Postcards available at most public libraries. They'll be mailed to Washington, D.C. later this month. A playground on Milwaukee's south side has officially reopened. Renovations to Mojieski Playfield began last year after extensive community feedback. Some of the upgrades include new playground equipment, basketball courts, walking paths, and a splash pad. In 2005, Mayor Tom Barrett renamed the former Cleveland Avenue Playground to honor Milwaukee native Robert Mojieski, a highly decorated U.S. Marine Corps veteran. Time for some news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow up 46 points, 44,286. NASDAQ up 122 at 20,540. S&P 500 up 16 at 6,241. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I-43 north at the ramp from 7th, the left lane there was blocked due to a crash. It looks like that has been cleared off. Still, the right lane is closed due to a fire earlier this morning. I-43 north at Hampton Avenue West. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy today, high 76, lakeside to 81 inland. Cool and clear overnight with a low 61. And tomorrow, more of the same. Mostly sunny skies, highs in the upper 70s to about 82. Then a chance for afternoon and evening storms on Friday with a high of 83. Those storms lingering into Saturday morning. Partly cloudy the rest of the day with a high of 82. And sunshine on Sunday with a high of 85. 75 in Madison, 67 in Green Bay, and 67 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:34.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You've heard about Tri-County Contracting and their worry-free roof tune-up. You've heard about their instant roof quote. But don't forget, Tri-County Contracting also handles windows. Our project at my home moving right along right now, and the process has been so easy and thorough. It's nice when you can trust the team you're working with and know that they are looking out for you. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and also windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake, tee off at the Lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course, or unwind at the award-winning Caladora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen, explore stunning shores and historic landmarks, and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority. They are your premium provider for eye care and corrective eye surgeries. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. Dr. Nausheen Abbas joined the Holtebeck Eye Center team last September, and her practice philosophy is to provide patient-centered medicine by giving all options. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol. Learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
You're going to love the new all-you-can-eat Saturday breakfast buffet for under $10 at the Mine Shaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford. It's fantastic. From 8 a.m. till noon, kids under 3 eat free. Walk on in. It's all you can eat. MineshaftRestaurant.com.
When you speed, you have less time to react. Follow the speed limit to keep other road users safe. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Now it's time for Ask Us Anything on Point Taken. Got a burning question? Give us a call or text on the Siding Unlimited talk and text line at 855-616-1620.
All right, Kristin, it's that time of the week. It's hump day, but it's also Ask Us Anything time. And we have a roster of questions, a lineup of questions, which is all over the place.
All right. Well, you were touting
Yes.
your 1,000 flights in your lifetime.
Yes.
So over your years of air travel, other than Milwaukee, what have been your most favorite and least favorite airports and why?
Least favorite, LAX, too busy. Just busy. Love San Francisco. The food choices in that airport are spectacular.
Terminal 1, I remember the first time Terminal 1 used to suck.
SFO.
Yeah. And I remember the first time I flew in after having lived there for as long as I did, and then coming back and be like, wow, this is an upgrade.
Yeah.
So SFO is really nice now.
I'll give some kudos to Detroit Airport. They've really improved that since the 30, 40 years ago when I used to go. It used to be a trash heap. Now it's gorgeous. It's modern. You have this line that connects you to all the gates. It's really quick. I absolutely detest, although I have to use it, O'Hare Airport. I have not had a flight, and I've taken a lot of flights over the last few years, that has come into O'Hare where we didn't circle for like this weird amount of time. And then when we got to the actual gate area, we didn't sit out there because they didn't have the gate ready yet. O'Hare, if you can't handle the traffic, don't have the flights. And I will give them some credit. They have some great restaurant choices at O'Hare. And last time I was at O'Hare Airport, they have a piano, and Rose Gray will probably text in the name of this bar. It's a popular bar at the airport, at the terminal we were in, which was where Aer Lingus flew out of. They had a guy, a pilot, apparently, or either a flight attendant or a pilot, playing the piano brilliantly. And then this dude comes up with his violin, and he comes in. It's like a concert going on. I actually recorded it on my phone. I will actually send it to you if you text me. It was amazing, like this impromptu concert. Remember, you always see these videos? I saw it happen in real time while I was sipping a Negroni at an airport bar in O'Hare. So I'll give them love for that. But get your act together, O'Hare.
My worst, I was just thinking of this. I forgot it was a European trip, and I was traveling alone, and I had a layover in the Madrid airport. And when you travel internationally, they take you have to recheck your bag, right? They don't just like transfer your bag for you. So I'm there, and I was like, I think my bag was overweight or something. It was a nightmare trying to get my bag rechecked. And then the Madrid airport, is massive. I think it's the largest airport I've ever been in. It took me 40 minutes to walk from where my bag was checked to get to the gate. And I was like sprinting the whole time because it took so long to try to make it in time. I don't think I've ever had to walk on foot that far in a airport ever.
Yeah, and if you want to go international, Dublin's airport is under construction right now. It's a train wreck.
Okay.
It's impossible to get anywhere, and they're taking you on buses when you get off. You don't get off at a gate. You get off the stairs and take a bus to. It's just insane. So hopefully answer that question. And somebody asked about Milwaukee. They texted me.
Milwaukee's great because it's easy.
It's easy, but it falls asleep at like 5 o'clock at night. It's like there's nothing. It's like, come on.
Yeah, but it's just you don't have to get there very early.
No, you could show up 20 minutes before and rush.
That's the best part about the Milwaukee airport. All right, what else do you want to answer?
Let me pull up the list here real quickly.
Did you buy a Ms. card yet? A Ms.
Rookie card. I got to get one. This guy is unbelievable. Like Pedro Martinez, the Hall of Famer, says he's like going to be the it man in baseball.
And we got him.
And we got him. This lineup.
He looks like he's 15.
I know he does.
He's very tall, but he looks so young.
The dude throws so fast.
It's crazy. Have you seen him in person yet?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Obviously, I've seen all the videos and stuff, and he's got a great attitude. It's perfect. He's driving attendance spikes for Miller Park. You got to love this story. So I
think it's American Family Field now.
Oh, did I say Miller Park? Oh my God! I'm glad I didn't say County Stadium. Old grouchy, disgruntled man. Yeah, I read your text, by the way. Yeah, I am disgruntled about some things, but other than that, I'm in a good mood. So yes, I will get a rookie card.
All right.
Your husband, who's
probably should. He might have already gotten one for all I know.
Let me know if he got one.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're gonna have dinner at some point. Let's do this one. I'm gonna ask you this question. Do you ever fear going downtown Milwaukee for dinner or to a movie or whatever?
No.
Yeah, I don't either.
I am a city girl, and so I get more scared in like desolate places where I'm entirely like I was driving through the back roads of from Wausau to Wisconsin Rapids once, and I wasn't on the main freeway. I was on like a back road, and my mind went to like, oh, I could just like drive off. Like if I got in a car accident right now and something happened, who would ever find me? Like there's no one out here, so I get way more scared in situations where there's no one around than in like city situations when there's people. Like that's why like in New York, when I lived in Manhattan and Brooklyn, like I never felt unsafe because there's just always people around.
Yeah, I don't have that fear. I was just telling you during the break, we probably eat downtown or Third Ward or along the lake more than we do in our own neck of the woods. So I mean, I feel perfectly safe. I work downtown. I love walking on Wisconsin Avenue. It's awesome, especially in the summertime. Even in the wintertime, it's refreshing. It's windy and cold, but it's refreshing. So, yeah, no, I don't have that fear. Let's take a break. We got a great question about grocery stores. We know that Kroger is closing 5 stores. I know this area very well, the Cudahy, St. Francis, Oak Creek area very well, obviously. You know, as a mayor in Oak Creek?
What?
And a Packers season ticket holder.
Crazy.
We're going to cover that question and get those questions in 855-616-1620. Ask us anything on Point Taken on 620 WTMJ.
It's the biggest door in your house. Time to give it the attention it deserves. Vince Vitrano here talking about Lifetime Door Company in Brookfield. Updating your garage door increases the value of your home. It's the first thing people see, and it's the best return for your money on investment. At Lifetime Door, if you have an emergency, they'll come out 7 days a week to service existing garage doors and openers. 5% off any service or install at Lifetime Door Company in Brookfield. Get started now, 262-783-4004, lifetimedoor.net.
Wrap up the first half of the season with the Brewers as they take on the Nationals July 11th through the 13th. Kick the weekend off with the Crew's annual celebration of black culture at the Negro Leagues tribute game on Friday the 11th. Then, your next can't-miss giveaway arrives on Saturday the 12th when the first 25,000 fans will get a 90s throwback jersey presented by CBS 58. Grab your seats at Brewers.com.
Save on the best quality furniture and mattresses during the July Independence Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. With major discounts from our premier suppliers, you will save big on top brands like Bradington Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Bradington Young is known for its fine quality leather upholstery. Fjords brings you modern Scandinavian design recliners and sofas, ergonomically engineered for more hip and back support. Norwalk, with American roots that go back over 100 years, specializes in making furniture just for you. Choose the piece, style, fabric, or leather you want And in just 35 days, we'll deliver your new sofa, chair, or sectional. In-stock or special orders are all sale priced. Need a little help putting it all together? At Ken Michaels Furniture, our design staff is ready to help you with your purchases. And it's free. Stop in today and save now during the Independence Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture on Capitol Drive in Brookfield, Highway 100 in Greenfield, or our downtown Mattress Factory showroom.
Vince Vitrano here for Connect Chiropractic. Get your aches and pains under control. But not only that, regular care with Connect Chiro can bring back your energy. A lot of folks start with headaches, back pain, and shoulder pain. How quickly you see results varies from person to person, but time and repetition are the key to staying on track. No twisting, no cracking, no popping. Connect Chiro docs use a special tool for all your adjustments, targeted results, and a gentler experience. Check out the new location in Oak Creek or get started at GoConnectChiro.com.
Hey, it's John McGivern here. You know I love Network Health. One of the reasons is that they're local and they understand how important that is. Their exceptional customer service isn't just words on a page. It's what they do. It's what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 833-7-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
This Saturday only from the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. Enjoy 2 prime rib, shrimp scallop, and salmon dinners for just $69.99. Call and reserve your free dinner today. FoxandHoundsRestaurant.com.
Welcome back to Point Taken. It is Wednesday in the last half hour, so that means it is Ask Us Anything. And we have someone who's called to ask us something.
All right, Ken from Menominee Falls, you're up on Ask Us Anything. What is your question?
My question is for Kristin, and I would like to know if she would ever consider going into politics.
Oh,
she's very informed. She's very articulate. I think she could relate to a lot of people. I would like to see her either on the state or national level going into politics.
Ken running for campaign manager.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know. I get asked this question. Thank you so much. I get asked that a fair amount. I think on the one hand, this is a pretty fun job that I get to do as far as getting to say my actual feelings and not having to hem and haw and do the talking points as we were talking yesterday about Brian's style. And it just seems like it's a big job. I think the big thing with what I understand public service like that to be now, especially in partisan, high-profile positions, is there's just so much BS that you have to deal with that gets in the way of the true reasons you want to do the job, which is to advocate for people, create good policy, make things better. And then when you layer on top, we're seeing record spikes of political violence, political threats, just the egos that you have to deal with. So like all of that is like, would I really want to put up with that? But I don't know. Never say never.
I was only a mayor, and I was.
You had thoughts about running
I had
for
conversations
with
higher
office,
Republican leaders in the state about going farther than that, and I chose not to. It has highs and magnificent highs and magnificent lows, and everything in between. It can be richly rewarding, but it also can be hell on earth because as the current environment, you can get your life threatened.
Yeah,
which happened to me. It's not fun.
I think you have to be really connected to your purpose for doing it, and I think for some people, their purpose is power, money, not necessarily the best motivating forces. But I think if you're really committed to that, like this is the best thing I can be doing with my talent and skill to be able to help people, you can wade through all the garbage parts of it. So I don't know. For now, I got to get better at radio, though.
You're good enough. I think you'd be great at politics, too. But, I mean, that's a personal decision and a family decision that you have to think long and hard about. The problem that I'm seeing, and there's a bunch of great questions I want to get to, not enough good, honest, decent people are going into politics, and we're getting sort of not the cream of the crop. That's concerning. You would be cream of the crop.
Thanks, Steve.
Great story.
And thanks, Ken.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Ken. Question about grocery stores closing. There's obviously been news about Cudahy not having one. South Milwaukee's losing their pick and save. Oak Creek lost the one on Ryan and 27th Street, but we still have, I believe, 2 other ones. It sickens me that communities like Cudahy and South
Well, these
Milwaukee.
are also densely populated areas. I
Yes.
don't understand. This isn't like, oh, we live in a rural area and we have to drive 20 minutes, 30 minutes to our local grocery store because everything is spread out. And so is it just, is it, I don't understand as far as, is it just consolidation for Kroger because they own so many grocery stores?
It's corporate think. It's not community think. Somebody, and we got to get out of this idea that only national chains can be grocery stores in Milwaukee. I know there's some examples.
Shout out to Pete's Market on MLK.
Absolutely. Somebody with some money and some willpower and some desire to help their community has to put a grocery store in Cudahy or South Milwaukee.
But anti-government run grocery stores.
Are you saying, am I anti?
I'm asking.
Yeah.
It's the Mamdani thing.
Yeah, no.
No, you don't want that.
No. Co-ops, government co-ops, is that what? I don't know. Here's a kind of a silly one. Do you and your significant other, in your case Mike, mine Kathy, argue about the home thermostat temperature?
No.
We do a little bit.
Oh. Are you hotter or colder?
Well, it depends on the season. So right now we're good at like 70 for AC.
That's where we're
very
at.
very comfortable. Yeah. Now, in the winter, Mrs. Scaffidi, Kathy likes to keep it a little cooler than I like.
Interesting.
She'll take that sucker down.
That's different. Women are usually colder than men. Like we run cooler than men do.
Yeah, she likes to keep it, 67.
She just tells you to go put socks on.
Put a sweatshirt on.
You're fine.
Which as you know, I do, because I listen. So that would be my thermostat. Somebody asked about backyard garden. Well, I have sort of a mini garden now, but I have a greenhouse. My tomato plants are probably 7 to 8 feet tall. I'm sort of moving them across the top of the greenhouse now to sort of trellis them. They look magnificent. I have clusters of tomatoes that are probably the size of apples now, multiple clusters. We're already eating all the cherry tomatoes, which this year we always pick a different one. Fantastico, which is fantastic. So if you are a fan of cherry tomatoes, Fantastico.
I feel like that's your next endeavor.
What's that?
After learning the piano, you got to go learn Italian.
That is exactly my next.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Kathy and I were talking about this last night. I know we got to get to break. Our goal is to live in Italy for a month or two every winter once I'm retired. So that is going to have to be part of that plan because I got to speak the language. Keep those questions
Duolingo, baby.
There we go. Bilingual.
No, it's an app.
Oh, Dua Lipa.
Word association.
Yes.
All right, we're taking a break. We'll be back. Wrap up the show after this.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit.
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit. Sit.
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit means sit dog training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Hey, this is WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi for Abbott. You've heard me talk about Abbott, but I want to tell you why it's so important. So much of your life is spent sleeping, often with a partner, often by yourself, but you got to wake up every morning rested and refreshed. And for me, I was not getting that sort of sleep that made that possible. I went to Abbott about 5 years ago, talked to their docs, 2 docs on my first visit, and I just laid it all out for them. And I asked the right questions, and they gave me the right answers. And they did a simple procedure, about 30 minutes. Sinuses, nasal passages. It's a common problem for a lot of people. Snoring is the most obvious symptom of that. And for me, it sort of cleared it out. I get all the oxygen I need now, and I'm sleeping through the whole night. I wake up rested and refreshed. So if you want to find out how I did it and how they can do it for you, go to AdventKnows.com and schedule an appointment today. You'll find out, and Advent will tell you. And they know when you breathe well, you live better.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Hey, this is Honest Eddie from the car lot down the street.
Hi, Honest Eddie.
Is it true your showrooms don't have any employees?
That's right. Hasselus mattress showrooms are employee-free.
Now, don't you be dishonest with Honest Eddie.
It's true. Give the mattresses a try with no pushy sales guy. And through Monday, get additional instant savings of $248 off Sealy Posturepedic and Beauty Rest.
Son, to make it in sales, you gotta pressure people. Like, what's your budget? Or I know it's the most expensive model, but trust me, it's the right one for you. And what's it gonna take to get you into a Sealy Posturepedic or Beauty Rest today?
But that's hassling customers.
Yeah, so?
Our store is called Hassle Less Mattress.
Just change the name. How about Wacky Westerns?
Uh-oh, you're breaking up. Gotta go.
Wait, no, let me talk to my manager.
Hassle-less Mattress, 100% Eddie-free. Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at hasseless.com.
Flooring, carpeting, bath, or kitchen remodeling. Adair is the name Milwaukee has trusted for 65 years. This is Rob Adair. Ready to remodel? Give us a call, 761-3660. Get personal care from Adair, South 27th in Franklin.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Shopco Optical. Get eyewear for everything you do at Shopco Optical. Schedule your annual comprehensive eye exam, check out new frame styles, and order your annual supply of contact lenses, all in one place. Enjoy the time and attention your eyes deserve at Shopco Optical. Receive quality eye care and a personalized vision solution tailored to your specific vision and lifestyle needs. Call Shopco Optical or visit shopco.com to schedule an appointment at a location nearest you.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
It's an inside joke. I was singing this yesterday, and Jazz played the song.
What happened to the Steve song? We haven't played that in a while.
Yeah, bring the Steve song
How does that
back.
go? Do you remember how that goes? It's like, my name is Steve.
Yeah, that's basically the song.
Steve.
That's, yeah.
It's like a robot.
Repetition. What was the question? Oh, Republican, somebody asked.
Oh, so someone just texted in saying they're excited about Bill Berrien's announcing his candidacy for governor of Wisconsin. And I don't know much about him yet, but it was something that'll be interesting as we've had, two statewide Republican candidates. One for governor in Tim Michels, one for senator in Eric Hovde, and thinking he's a businessman, he's CEO. How does he differentiate himself from these two guys who got close? I mean, especially Eric Hovde got very close. But as far as how is he different instead of just being another business guy?
I don't know I don't know enough about him.
Okay. We'll ask Bill on Friday, because I think Bill knows him, right?
Bill's talked about him before. Sam from McHenry, we're not going to take the call, but he asked Republicans I like. I like John Thune from South Dakota, senator. I've said this over and over again. I don't always agree with him, but I respect Robin Voss as a leader. He's often, and I've called him this, the most powerful politician in the state of Wisconsin. Whatever you think about his policy ideas, we all can disagree or agree on all that stuff. He's an effective leader. So I give him credit for that. And I said earlier in the show, and it'll be more apparent as we move through.
Oh, you like Brian Stile?
I like Brian
He was just
Stile,
on.
my congressman. Absolutely. I visited him in his office in Washington, D.C. I've had him on the show many times, my other show. Big fan of Josh Shulman because a local leader who got stuff done and gets stuff done, who's stepping up to try to lead the state. That's some examples for Sam there, quickly.
There you go.
Yeah. We got to go.
We do got to go.
Oh, that's quick. Quick show today.
A big announcement for tomorrow, though. This is a big week of guests for a show that we sometimes dabble with guests. But we're going to have Senator Tammy Baldwin on tomorrow.
Oh, there you go.
11 o'clock.
More of that both sides of the aisle stuff.
And they reached out to us.
How about that? What does that say?
People are listening to this show. Get on board, folks.
I get the points.
Point taken.
All right.
In the mirror looking back saying, who is me?
Loyalty, family. Few things are more important. This is WTMJ's Steve Scaffidi and Loyal Family Renovations. They saved the day after a brutal storm in Oak Creek. Hail damage, yeah, I had a lot of it. But Jeff, Jake, and the whole team, absolute pros, made the entire process smooth as can be. Let's be honest, not everyone knows how to deal with adjusters. They handled all the questions, quick answers, top-notch customer service. In just 2 days, my roof was done. If storm damage hits, call the team that made it easy for me. Loyal Family Renovations.